Hey John, Ben here working on your swing analysis from the San Diego camp and found some things for you to work on. So let's go ahead and get started here. A couple pro things that I saw that I think you can really help you with your swings and really help you to the next level here in regards to our stance and our start. So let's go ahead and back up a few frames here. First thing I want to talk about is your levels. When we talk about eye levels here, we're going to talk about where you start and then where you finish. Going back to the first swing here. So we get ourselves into a level. That's right. Let me go back to the first swing here. So you can see when we start of our level, of our eye level, when we finish. So the second pitch was a bad pitch. So basically, we want to make sure that we start and finish more on a level. You don't want to have your eyes be bouncing up and down. It's hard enough to hit something that's moving, let alone your levels changing at the same time. So making sure that when you start and finish, that your levels stay the same. So if you like to start low and down, then you got to make sure at the end of your swing is to start low and down as well. Let's go to our third swing here to see where we ended up on our level. So you start down at that level and you stay down at the level, but then you kind of came up a little bit. See how we were changing it. Then at the end you can see that our levels are here, and that's 3 or 4 feet of difference from our start and from our point of contact. So we just got to find somewhere that's comfortable, that you're going to get consistent at. I would not worry about starting so deep in regard to starting so low. I think you can do the same effect, but you can be a little bit taller. I think we need to focus on posture, and as you see, we're kind of hunched over. So I would focus on your torso to be taller and to stand up and more sit on your legs a little bit, and that's going to help us work more downhill. Tendency when we get too low, that we have a tendency to get underneath balls when we try to lift balls compared to driving the balls. So I would really focus on your posture being nice and tall, and that's going to help you work more downhill when I swing. The other thing I want to talk about is your feet. Notice where your feet are. Your feet are more turned out a little bit, and that makes your knees be more over here. And I'm going to put some green lines of where I want them to be. Instead of having your feet this way and pointing out this direction, I would want them straight ahead, or even a lot of guys will have their feet turned in a hair. What I want to do is I want to engage the lower half more and have you be more in your legs and to have hit more for power. And what that's going to do is it's going to create your knees to be more over in this area and this area. So when I draw lines, you want to be able to draw straight down to the ground with your lines, compared to right now that if I take the lines and make them red, that if from my knees they just go straight to my feet. And what you want to do is that's going to create a lot more power when your toes are turned in a little bit, and just need to do a better job of keeping that torso nice and tall, and that's going to help us work on a downhill angle. So once I go into my next phase of my swing analysis, more of my land foot, is one important thing is we need to focus on is that front foot. You can see that that front foot begins to open on me too much, and again at this we need to make sure that that front foot is not turned this way, it's more turned that way. So at this point of our swing, I would want this heel to be facing, instead of the heel facing this way, I would want that heel to be facing more the pole side. What that's going to do is it's create more power for you and be able to hit against a closed, firm front side at contact, compared to being a little bit more of an open front side. So at this point of our swing, you can see that that back foot's kind of off the ground. I would like to see that have more of a foundation of to work with our back leg here. So if I point it up at contact, I want to make sure of a couple things I want to change. So I want to put in green where I want your legs and stuff to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this back foot here, and I want that a lot more of your foot to be on the ground, more of the ball of the foot. This is going to take your back leg, and it's going to create your angle to be here. And this straight line, I want that head to be in the middle of this circle. And then what they'll do, your front foot is fine, just make sure that it's kind of more firm and closed off. I want to have this leg here, and that's ideally of how I want you to be. But you can see it at right now. You're if I change colors here, you're a little bit too much on the toe here. You can see if that circle's a little smaller. I want much more foot on the ground, and that's going to make sure that you have more of a power line and hit stronger with more power in your legs. You can see that there's an angle in that front leg. You can see that front foot's off the ground and it's too open. And what you want to do is you want to have that more closed off, and then you can also see that your head's a little bit too far forward where you want that head to be back. So you can see what lines I want you to be. I want you to be in the green areas and not be more in the red areas of where that's at. So making sure that you're really going to focus on being back a little bit more and a little bit stronger at contact. The other thing I would do is I would take a ball, and I'd place the ball out in front here, and I would really focus on my head to be finishing, not looking at where the ball's at. I would finish with my head at contact. So you really want to focus on hitting the ball and then looking at the ball on the ground. So you really are disciplined with our head to keep those at contact in regards to that, to focus really on where you want to be in regards to that finish. The other thing too is you'll notice after contact is we snapped our hands too soon. So when those hands hit, you're in a palm down position right now, but right after your hands snap and they finish really low and over in this area. So I want to focus on at this point of our swing, you still want those hands to be in the zone, and you don't want those hands to be turned over yet. So you want that kind of barrel to be more of this direction. I want it to finish nice and high, and as you can see, if I keep going with your swings, right, that barrel finishes really in that low position. I want to finish up in the green more areas in the high part and not more on the bottom part, because that's going to, once those hands spin off, then that gets your barrel to get out of the zone. And I think that's very important for you to stay through the ball. A good drill that I used to do is called the 2-tee drill. You're going to basically have 2 tees, and you're going to have a ball up on the tee. Basically what you want to do is just be down and through and hit both balls, and just hit both balls off the tee. That's going to help you to hit the first one, hit the second one, and then turn your hands over. It's going to get your barrel to be in the hitting zone longer, and that's really the key to be able to help you with that. So these 4 or 5 things, from the level changes, from your feet work, from your angles, do a lot of tee work, do a lot of soft toss, and these things you can really work on one by one to work on with your swing, but it's going to make a huge difference in regards to your swing, to get more power out of your swing, to get you more consistent, and just make you a better ball player. So thanks for coming to camp, and we look forward to seeing you next year.